Hello everybody and welcome back to the Overlap Breakdown channel. Today I am here to cover have England just proved why they could win the World Cup in their very first opening game against Croatia with a 4-2 victory, and hands down one of the better performances I've seen from England at a World Cup, full stop, in terms of, I'm only 24. So, I really want to dive into this one. I really want to go over a lot of the tactical detail, a lot of the good stuff and some of the bad stuff, but why the bad stuff is actually quite good because we can learn from it and then go again into the latter stages of the tournament. So, as always, thank you so much for the support on the channel. If you do really enjoy the pieces, then do not forget to click the subscribe button as always and stay up to date with every post that we put out over the summer and beyond. So, immediately I want to speak about, just straight away, honestly, I was watching the game last night, and if I'm being honest, I think this rendition of England, the way England are looking to play, what they're doing on the ball, it's never been more England coded, English coded, in terms of the way they play. The amount of deep runs, physical lads, second balls, set pieces, headers, wingers were with pace, down the outside, just camping the box out, being really, really stubborn in your low block. Aggressiveness. I think right now, England are at the stage where, even when we previewed them coming into the World Cup, this just looks like a team that could win the World Cup. I'm not putting my neck out on the line and saying that, but it looks like a team that has all the pieces. And yesterday, when I seen that lineup, people questioned the Noni Madueke and Anthony Gordon inclusions. Obviously, that was down partly to fitness for some of them, but they still typified, even though Anthony Gordon didn't have his best evening, a lot of the high pressing moments from England throughout the game, which is a massive part of this World Cup, come from his curve runs. And I know it sounds stupid, and I know people want him to take 5 players on and be like a wizard at the wing. I do fully understand that, but there are so many bits and pieces to have within this England team, and them two were fine in my opinion, and we still looked like an incredible team when they were on the pitch. And it was the halftime talk that really fixed everything for England. And for the most part, Anthony Barry said at halftime that in the first half, they were very much nervous. It was cagey. They were erratic. They were playing short when they should be playing long, and vice versa. So playing long when it should have been short. A lot of the times, what was happening is England were playing in this 4-2. Anderson was dropping down. Then Rice would occasionally drop in like this. Then they were using Harry Kane to actually come and stand with Bellingham. And the wingers were very, very narrow. Whether or not this was because Croatia were playing a back three, we don't know. But it was forcing them into this predicament of England having an overload in the centre like this, and Croatia having 3 defenders, and what to do against these 2 split strikers if they're starting outside, coming inside, Harry Kane's dropping in like so. And I've got a picture on your screen just to show you that structure from the Hawkeye view in the stadium, which you can see on your screen now. And it is a 4-2-2 from the base of the keeper. Now, in the game, throughout the game, there was a bit of topsy-turvy with some of the possession. Pickford was going long quite often. There was a lot of these work balls, and it actually worked for the Bellingham goal early in the second half, but it was too common, which is usually where the fullback would set it back to the midfielder who's side on, so he's facing the ball like this. And then when he would receive, he would play a first-time ball into the channel. This happened on both sides. For Bellingham, for Madueke, even for the fullback, if a midfielder rotates out there, the fullback would crash in. We've seen it for Jed Spence's chance, of course, Jude Bellingham's goal. And I will show you what that looks like on the screen for Jude Bellingham's goal right now as we go on to talk about it. So we can see here on 46 minutes, we have that structured build-up. So we have the 3 lads in the front line, and then we have the 2 runners just beneath them. So we can see Noni Madueke and Jude Bellingham making the exact same off-the-ball run to attack space in behind, like so. England are playing with 4 defenders, 1 build-up player in Anderson. This is set back for Anderson on his right foot, and he can hit the channels straight away. He puts a ball right into the channel. It's worked nicely. Bellingham, absolutely unbelievable last night. Honestly, can't speak highly enough about him. Crashes into the box, and it's a brilliant, brilliant finish. And that attack and the Rashford goal, and even the set-piece goal, that is England to me. That is what England should look like. With the players they've got, with the quality available, with the physical lads in the team, the amount of pace, power, technical ability throughout the spine of the team, that is what England should look like. Harry Kane also did this on multiple occasions. I've got this example here when we're starting in the build-up. Now you can see more so that 4-2 in the build-up. So ahead of Jordan Pickford, we have Rice and Elliot Anderson just on the edge of the D for England. Pickford actually chooses to bypass the first line of pressure of Croatia and knock it straight into Harry Kane's feet directly. So we can see that when Harry Kane picks up the ball, no Croatia player is near him because, as we were saying before, there's a back three and England have dropped Harry Kane all the way in there. But what did we also mention? The two runners ahead of him are Anthony Gordon and Noni Madueke. So when Kane plays this direct ball, look at this picture. England are attacking 3v3. It's actually Gordon, Madueke out wide with Jude Bellingham arriving late. Now, Noni Madueke actually gets a half-decent opportunity for this on this picture. But they're the type of attacks this England team are so good at creating, and this, it's just the possibilities are really, really good. And then when Saka, when Jed Spence, when Rashford come on, and it elevates the levels even more physically, the way we attack, the pace of the attack, it's frightening what this England team could do. But it wasn't all rosy. In the first half, there was a little bit of second guessing, a little bit of erratic ball use. I'll go on to speak about one of the Croatia goals they actually scored against England, where the ball possession is frantic. There's a lot of loose balls. There's a lot of hanging it up when it should be on the deck, and just no empathy for the ball, which is not looking after the ball. So I've got this graphic on your screen to show you, which is England versus Croatia at each 25-minute mark of the game. So 0 to 25, 25 to half-time to 70, 70 to full-time, sorry. We can see that in that quadrant of half-time to 70 minutes, England created 1.19 expected goals, the highest of any of these tiers. They had more shots than the entire of the first half in them first 25 minutes. They had more shots on target in that 25 minutes from half-time to 70, well more by, what is that, Three more than any other phase of the game combined. Touches in the opposition's box, England had 16 in comparison to 9, 6 and 6. Passes played into the box, 10. Successful passes, 135 in comparison to 94, 86, 91. Successful passes ended in the final third, 17 in comparison to just 19 managed in the entire of the first half. That was done all within inside 25 minutes of football by England. And that 25-minute spell shown what England can do when they can overpower teams, because they did not let Croatia put their foot on the ball as soon as you come out for the second half break. And Anthony Barry, who's England's assistant manager, was so critical of the performance, and he was so spot on in what he was saying. We made some decisions when the energy of the game played on our mind, playing long when we should play short, playing short when we should play long, not letting us break through the gaps and accelerate our game the way we wanted to. We fell back into some fearful patterns after the set piece and after the penalty. And what Barry is speaking about, and Thomas Tuchel even said this in his ITV post-match, when England went into the game, they were very cagey. And when they scored, I think the coaching staff and some of the players must have thought that's going to break down that little bit of a mental block and England can go for the throat of things. That didn't happen. When Croatia actually come out and started to play, England were falling back into this really, really deep, narrow, compact shape like this. Oftentimes, the wingers were dropping down the outside like that. Elliot Anderson was coming in here. And Thomas Tuchel called it a back seven. And I think he was a bit confused as to why this had happened. So then the half-time break comes when that seed of doubt is set into England players' mind. The second half comes in, and whatever Tuchel has said to the players at half-time, Declan Rice, Harry Kane, and Thomas Tuchel have all spoken about this speech that he said to the players. And when asked about it, he didn't really say anything extraordinary tactically. It was more of a mental block. He said we were too busy protecting something we didn't have. And that, for me, has always been England's problem. They protect leads and they protect wins when they haven't yet got that over the line. I remember the Italy game is the most crucial example under Southgate. We scored after 3 minutes and we didn't have a shot next until the 64th minute in that game. The France game, we started really well, but then you take the foot off the gas, the subs come too late. There's always that little bit of seed of doubt in England's mind that when it all goes wrong, and we all remember some of the group stage games from the last Euros and the last World Cup, not the last World Cup, but the last Euros, there never really was a tweak at halftime that gave England that fire in the belly to come out and do it. Thomas Tuchel has done that in his very first World Cup game in charge of England, and that cannot be underestimated what he's done there. And for me, when you listen to him talk, he's so much calmer than when he was at a club. He's so much more softly spoken. And yeah, he's quite impressive. And I'm getting a bit, attached to Tuchel in terms of like, that's my gaffer after the game, because yeah, he's playing such a nice brand of football in terms of attacking football, fruitful football that we've always wanted. 4 goals against a Croatia team that are no pushover. I mean, we just looked really, really good, and in the second half especially. And to be fair, I've got some graphics on your screen which I'm going to throw up now, which is to talk about basically what happened, what changed in the England performance of note. So I've gone and sourced from Opta every single bit of data, every single bit you could possibly think of, and compared it side by side from the first half to the second half. The passing accuracy, I mean on your screen right now, if it's labelled in green, that means it's better than the other side of this column. And in the second half, only 3 stats out of this entire list are better on the first half than the second half. Possession, well up. Passes, well up. Accurate passes, well up. Passing accuracy, even further up. Passes in the opposition's half is up by 24 from half to half. Passing accuracy in the opposition's half is up by 17%. Passes in the final third, up. Passing accuracy in the final third is up by over 25%. More crosses, more corners, more dribbles. The total duels won was 10 higher than the first half in the second half. Total percent of duels won, 13% more duels won in the second half in comparison to the first half. Aerial duels, well up. We won the possession back in the final third twice against Croatia in the second half. We didn't do it once in the first half. More tackles won. We only made 2 tackles in the first half, 7 were made in the second half. That is what a tournament manager does. Look at France. Look at what they did. They put in a pretty shaky showing in the first half. Deschamps, a couple of little tweaks, come out, they blow past a team in that first 25, 30 minutes when they come out for the second half. And it felt like a knockout game, that Croatia game. Obviously because they're good, yes, but it felt like the angst, the caginess all stemmed from that. And we got to see the idea. We got to see everything about the goals. For the Jed Spence chance, he's doing the rotation, so he's passing it inside and then underlapping like that, crashing in behind with them legs. How crucial did we say that was for England in the preview that we did? And one last thing before we finish. I mean, I just can't really like get away from the second half and how much better this could get, because I think that second half is a baseline. I think England now know that that's the baseline as well. So I've got this example in the first half that England curve the run, there's a deep run in behind, and look at the box. Look who's arriving into the box here for England in this image. Nico O'Reilly, Declan Rice, Anthony Gordon, Jude Bellingham. They are the midfielders, a fullback and a winger, all crashing the box at the same time. Physicality, pace, power. That is everything about England for me. And I think the best thing about that performance for England, especially with the way they played in terms of stretching a team, with Anthony Gordon, with Madueke, with Saka, with Rashford coming off the bench, is all of the other big nations in the World Cup that have struggled so far, Brazil, Belgium, Spain, Portugal, all of them lack the same exact thing, and that is wingers who can stretch, who can attack depth, who can run in behind. Brazil really only have Vinicius on the left, and he scored their goal. But the lack of width from the likes of Portugal, Spain and Belgium and Brazil in moments typifies that this tournament is so important to attack with depth, because low blocks are so compact these days and they are so well coached, and every player is so well drilled to when to step out. And most of the time, they don't even step out to apply ball pressure. They stay in that reserved shape and they will let you build up everywhere. So you need to stretch and run in behind to attack blocks. England have proven that they are one of the best teams at the World Cup, maybe apart from France, the only other one I can think of, who can attack with serious depth and runs in behind and penetrate them stubborn blocks. For the 2 goals that England scored for 3-2 and for 4-2, That will kill teams in the knockouts who come on to play against England when they think they've got a chance in a drawing game state. Kane dropping in, long stretching balls in behind to Madueke. We've seen that numerous amounts of times in the game. Jed Spence, Nico O'Reilly from fullback, crashing in from there. Saka, Rashford, Gordon, Madueke, Jude Bellingham, Rodgers, all running behind on the break in the last stages of the game. I'd be worried. I'd be worried if I was an opposition team playing England. And I think Ian Wright said it last night. You do not want to play this England team. I think if you look at that game last night, you look at the amount of power they've got. If I was a top nation, someone with maybe an older spine, like a Brazil, I wouldn't be wanting England. I wouldn't. Yeah, it was just something that I'd not really seen England do that much when they come out for a second half, and it just looks so much different, but not in terms of the tactical setup, not in terms of where players are playing, in terms of the extra 10% in all of them metrics we just listed. An extra 10% in all of them is just ridiculous. And yeah, I've got a few stats here just before I wrap up. So England's 7 big chances created against Croatia. It was the most a single nation has put up against another in the World Cup. Despite playing 18 minutes, Bukayo Saka completed the most take-ons of any player in the game, full stop. I think he actually had double the second most. 33% of ground duels won in the first half compared to 73% of ground duels won in the second half. Elliot Anderson covered 12 kilometres against Croatia, the most of any England player. Jed Spence had the fastest sprint of the game with 21.8 miles per hour with that sprint down the side. And 20 of England's 22 shots came in the box against Croatia. And yeah, what a way to start, and what a way to sort of galvanise the nation, and what a way to give them a lot of hope and a lot of pride that we could actually do this. Because you don't win tournaments by, you don't win tournaments by winning 1-0, in my opinion. You just don't. It's not a thing. It very, 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 very rarely happens. And it's usually a late winner if it is. And yeah, in that game, it just felt like England could have the firepower to play a basketball game and actually come out on top against a big nation. It felt that way. And it didn't feel like there was so much stubbornness. There wasn't a naivety. There wasn't a scaredness from the players when they come out for that second half. And I think that now that's been lifted off the shoulders, I don't know what else we could actually expect in the next 2 group stage games, because the bar now is at that level. And the attacking subs when we're already 1 goal ahead. Come on. That's what we've been waiting for. Morgan Rodgers, Saka, Rashford, all on the pitch when we're 1 goal already in front. Amazing. Jed Spence, but he was basically playing as an attacker. I just like the way he speaks about the football, and I like the way he speaks about England and what we are. And all the players are saying in the first half, they were like, if we're going to lose, at least do it in our way. Don't try and be something you're not to try and win a game. Win the game playing the style of football that you are the best at. We are the best at that style of football. That is what the Premier League is known for. Pace, power. So, yeah, I couldn't be happier, really. Well, apart from conceding 2 in the first half. But, yeah, I'm just so happy. And I really do think this could be the year. It's premature to say that, but I think we've seen it now. And we've seen what the bench can do. And we've seen what the lads in the starting 11 can do. Elliot Anderson was so good in the loose balls. He was the only real player I was looking at in the game going, could he be startled a little bit? And even he was just first to everything. 12 kilometres, ran so many loose balls, picked up so many just jumps out of the press to just go and put ball pressure on, force the ball back. And if you look at that team, that is an experienced group now that can handle a manager of Thomas Tuchel's demands. And that is a group that is going to not drop their head and start feeling bad for themselves. That's a group that wants themselves to win and backs themselves to win and will do anything to win. So, yeah, let me know if you've been as excited as I am about England, because honestly, I was blown away with that second half especially. So, if you did like this piece, please do not forget to like, comment and subscribe to the Overlap Breakdown channel, and we'll be back next week for some more analysis. Thank you very much.
This has been a Global and the Overlap production.